Hey son, as they say in Sweden. Those of you who have been following the channel for quite some time, you know that I do classic reviews. So I recently did a At the Gates Slaughter of the Soul classic review because it's one of my all-time favorite metal albums. So when the band kind of quit after that, at least soon after that, there was no hope for the continuation, except when the band actually did a comeback a few years ago at War with Reality, which was a very good album. Not as good as Slaughter of the Soul, obviously, but still a good one. Now it's the follow-up for this comeback album, To Drink from the Night Itself. But is it worth the trouble? Is this yet another success, or is it something else? Let's take a look. So the CD looks like this. As you can see, there's a sticker here saying that the new studio album by the pioneers of melodic death metal. We can pretty much agree that At the Gates surely is one of those bands that had lots to do, pioneering the whole sub-genre. CD is very simple in design. It's red, reminding the Red in the Sky is Ours album, and inside we have this kind of a chalice here. Never mind the reflections. I'm not gonna bother removing this one from the jewel case. Nobody ever reads the texts here anyway. So here's the actual CD, The Drink from the Night Itself. And the difference this time is that one of the major part of the band, one of the key members of the lineup has gone from the band. The other brother, so to speak. So it's a little bit different at the Gates this time, and unfortunately it has also reflected on the album as such. As you can see, the layout is pretty simple, quite nice design though, with lyrics and images. So this is how it looks like, To Drink from the Night Itself. Like I said, one of the key members is no more in the band, and that has reflected on the music, and not in a good way. Now the thing is, when the album starts, there's a nice intro which gives you kind of the mood, sets up things and so forth. And the first track, the real first tracks here, the Drink from the Night Itself, the title track. Well, it's a good one. It clearly shows that this is an At the Gates album. It could be one of those songs that, to be heard on Slaughter of the Soul or kind of leftovers, or at least at War with Reality. So far, so good. So what, since the rest of the album is not on par with the first two tracks. And that is kind of a sad thing to say because, for me, At the Gates has played an important role in Swedish metal. Not only that, but, in melodic death metal. Oh no. So when Slaughter of the Soul, was this kind of a swan song, or thought to be that, I thought this, what a better way to go to the grave as with a kind of a perfect album. 10 out of 10 in my books. But At War with Reality was a good comeback album. So I was kind of like, well, why not come back if you're still able to do such good songs and, good production, good vocals and all that stuff. But this one seems to me kind of a cover band version of At the Gates. Make no mistake, it kind of sounds At the Gates, and even the vocals are somewhat familiar, but then again, not quite the same in fact. There's some sort of weird effect with vocals, which don't make them sound as Tumba Lindberg's typical style of vocals. With Slaughter of the Soul, just perfect way of creating this hatred to vocals and all that stuff. And now it seems like as if there was this copycat, doing the same or trying to do the same with some just effect to kind of reach the quality. But it's not there. Now riff-wise, it seems like the band is running out of juice. Basically it's the same, but quality-wise, not. So it's kind of this trashy melodic death metal, having these familiar At the Gates elements, but still not even close to At War with Reality, not to mention Slaughter of the Soul. So while I kind of like this album, and now I have to disagree a little bit with some people saying like, well, the reviewer just couldn't give this kind of like mediocre rating because it's at the gauge, it's like he can afford to do that. That is not the case here. The case here is that I kind of like the drink from the night itself. I mean, there's more goodness than, say, mediocrity or badness. But it's still only like halfway there. So it's like quite good album. Like, yeah, why not? But it's not gonna make it to my collection. And the reason is this. While I went many times through the album, it kind of leaves me, with a lukewarm feeling. Kind of like, yeah, this is like the demo version of what should have been, a kind of a future classic. Now it's like everything is in place, but still not quite there. And it kind of makes me a sad panda because, like I said, At the Gates used to do so much better. And I'm not sure if this is exactly the worst they have ever done, because, I mean, some of the earlier materials, like after The Red in the Sky is Ours, is not exactly very good in my opinion. Whereas I like the very first EP when they were more towards this kind of a traditional death metal. And, before they actually did Slaughter of the Soul, they were getting there. And now they're kind of losing a grasp. So it's like as if they're sliding, to the opposite direction, where they were coming from, in a way. No, sorry, what I meant to say, kind of back to the direction where they're coming from, so just the opposite direction of what was going on before Slaughter of the Soul. I don't know if this makes sense to you. I don't know if you care about the band anyway. But for me, it's kind of sad to see kind of a classic band to just, fade away. As if middle-aged thingies were, just setting in, kicking in, whatever. And the band is kind of losing its edge, its razor sharpness. And now it's just quite nice album with not that aggressiveness, not that hatred, not that stuff. And maybe that's just what's supposed to happen when people get older, when they're not younger. I mean, I'm not that hateful what I used to be, so in that kind of way I kind of understand. But it doesn't help me with this particular album. I mean, I'm gonna see them live playing Tuska Festival, but still, I'm kind of a little bit afraid they are not going to deliver what they used to do a few years ago when I last saw them, when it was just great. And now I feel it's kind of like not that great. It's maybe good, maybe less than that, who knows. But still, even with my whiny words, I think the Drink from the Night itself is definitely worth listening to. Just have your expectations a lot lower than before and you'll be just fine. Who knows, maybe you actually like this album way more than I do. I mean, it is actually quite okay. It's just not the greatness we have got used to with At the Gates. That's my 2 cents. Do with whatever with that info you will, and see you soon with more Rauta reviews. Bye bye.